What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. I'm Rosetta Gutierrez-Uy.
And I am Maria DiMaggio Hickman. We're two Las Vegas realtors blending real estate, hustle, and sneaker culture all in one place.
If you're into real estate, entrepreneurship, and making big moves, then you're in the right spot.
We're breaking down market trends, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, and giving you game on how to build wealth through real estate.
And of course, we're talking sneakers, culture, and how we stay fresh while handling business.
So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. This is the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. Hey, welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. Welcome back. We are so excited for today's podcast. We are going to be talking some big time things, and we have a very special guest here today. I am Maria DiMaggio Hickman.
And I am Rosetta Gutierrez-Uy. Today, we have a Bay Area guest here, Milana Ostroy.
Hello, so excited to be here.
Welcome. So, how was your weekend? We always talk about weekend first because we usually have a very crazy weekend.
My weekend was back-to-back showings. 2 clients here from out of town.
Nice.
And I think I saw 25 houses.
Oh my
Total.
gosh, you must be tired.
And made it to church on Sunday, so that's a win-win for me. And also got a date night in there, and I had all-you-can-eat sushi.
Of course you did. That's all she ever eats.
How was your weekend?
It was great. We had, Nevaeh was at her cheer competition with her dad in Ohio. So it was nice. I had the weekend to myself, but I got lots of cleaning done around the house, which was, important. And then we just had a disaster with my husband and Nevaeh. They didn't get their flight, didn't take off on time. They slept in the airport in Cincinnati and hopefully right now are pulling into the airport.
Yeah.
It was not a fun trip for them. How about
Ouch. Well, we don't have 25 houses to show in one day, so I can't get those kind of numbers. But this weekend was on the lighter side. It's one of the few weekends I didn't work open house, so I was excited and took my little one to the Academy of Sciences. I had 3 showings, and when we say showings, it's like one house or a few houses, but that's pretty much it.
Wow.
So it's very, very different.
Very different.
But it was a great weekend and met new clients, so that was good.
Heck yeah, the spring market is here. And I think with a lot of buyers going out right now and sellers that are watching this that don't know what to do with their house, should they sell or things like that, we were talking a little bit about cost of living and the differences in what could be purchased. So how much is a carton of eggs in the Bay Area?
You can expect to pay $12, $11.99 for eggs, if you can find them, by the way.
They're limited here in Costco. You can only get 3 here, but much cheaper.
The regular supermarkets have been empty. I mean, I'm talking, Safeway, Trader Joe's, Molly's, they have been low. And the ones that are there, anything decent is $12.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how many eggs you go through, but I buy 3 to 5 cartons at a time with 2 teens and a baby and hungry adults. So that's a big spend.
Eggs used to be like the cheap way to get protein.
Yes.
Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Wow.
It's kind of like how toilet paper used to be. Like
Yeah.
when I grew up, you would still toilet paper people's houses.
Yeah.
Now, like they're like, no, like
That's too
they're gonna push you out of the way and be like, I'm getting this toilet paper roll.
And
Like
forget about egging cars. We used to egg cars
Oh
back
my
in the
God.
day. You
Oh,
can't
no
do that
way.
anymore either. Forget
No
it. It's all
way.
too expensive.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. I mean, same with gas too. Like how much is gas here in Vegas?
Like $3.70 maybe?
$3.70, $3.80, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
So gas in our neck of the woods is $5.09
Oh my gosh.
on average. You might get under $5 this past week, but if you're doing premium, you'll pretty much be hovering over $5 per gallon. So the gas is hefty.
That's crazy.
But California also, I think, has a $1 tax over all gas per
That
gallon.
makes a big difference.
And it makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. You guys don't have that, I'm
No.
assuming.
What is that exactly? It's just
Who gets that? Who gets that money?
We don't
Who
know.
gets that?
Someone from California.
I would love it because I drive big cars and they have big tanks.
Yeah.
And so, and you know, just like you guys, you know, your Las Vegas area coverage and showing houses, you do a lot in the car, right?
Yeah.
And I do too. And, you know, I sell in San Francisco to Silicon Valley. So there's all these like little cities along the way. So I am in, you know, on average 5 cities a day. So there's a lot of driving and there's a lot of gas. And so the bills are high.
Yeah. Well, in the hills too. Like
Yes.
here, everything's just a circle. Like if you don't go one way on the 215, you take the 15 up and you cut through everybody else. Or you could take the streets, but
Well, you took me the back roads today.
I did.
So
I
I do
did.
know those.
Yeah. I don't want to drive on Warm Springs in the morning on a
No.
Monday. There's no way.
No.
We actually ended up having to, but
Oh,
because
you
there was
did?
construction, yeah. And the Starbucks was closed.
A Starbucks was closed?
So there
How in
used
the
to be a
world?
Starbucks there when I worked near that office, and then, which makes sense, there's 5 Starbucks within a mile radius. So I mean, it's a little egregious
Yeah.
to have 5.
I mean, is the
That's
economy
crazy.
going down? Is real estate going down? How could Starbucks leave?
Yeah. How dare you? They,
What is the indicator?
I know, especially it's funny you say that because in my neighborhood right now is one of the most populated zip codes, and they just got a Starbucks, and I was like, we made it.
Oh,
We
you have
finally
arrived.
made it. Yes.
You have arrived.
So
Oh,
in our neck of the woods, if we say a neighborhood made it means Whole Foods arrived.
Oh, yes.
Californians are big on Whole Foods. If there's a Whole Food in the neighborhood, everybody believes in the real estate.
Yeah.
Love it. Whole Foods, you have a great importance in California.
It's true.
That's crazy.
Thank you for selling $9 organic eggs.
Yes, appreciate it. Maybe they could give them a break.
12.
Do you guys have Sprouts?
We do. Not
Okay.
a lot of them, but we do have them, and those are also really loved. I mean, California is very, very healthy. You know, when you go, and I travel a lot, right? And when I travel to places outside California, you'll hear people ordering like a regular mocha. In California, it would be like, you know, oat milk, some extra soy, something. And then, you know, people are like, where are you from? Like, California? Yeah. So, I mean, so the stores really do reflect it. Even Trader Joe's, which is, you know, not like the highest end store, but they curate what is perceived as healthier products. And then there's, you know, the usual Safeway and such, but they're not as popular.
Yeah.
People really do value quality, nutritious food in California. And it affects the real estate.
Of course it does.
There's
Yeah.
a Trader Joe's coming up down the street,
Flock
guys.
to
We got to
this
buy a house
neighborhood.
there.
Yes. Oh,
And you
my
also pay for bags in California.
We do. Thank you for rubbing it in.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
I bring my own
25
bag
cents.
to the grocery store.
Okay, I try. I keep bags in the car.
You forget every time
I
you walk
tell
in.
everybody who goes food shopping in my household, you know, don't spend money on bags, but then they forget.
Yep.
And it's hard to enforce. And frankly, like, you know, walking out of the store like this is just not attractive. So we do end up paying for bags. I mean, even if you go to something designer like Chanel, you're going to pay 25 cents.
Are you really?
What?
Wow.
Oh my God. Don't they give you bags like if you buy
should.
something?
Yeah, like Lulu gives you a
include it.
bag.
Yeah.
Lulu always gives you a bag if you buy something.
Wait, so hold on. This is blowing my mind
No,
right
but
now.
Lulu charges too.
For the bag?
Yeah, maybe not here.
No, here they don't. We get it for free.
Yeah. No, you get it's a compliance thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you buy a luxury like Louis Vuitton bag, they're going to charge you for this bag?
They ask, yes.
do you
they
want a
do.
bag or do you just want to
you want a
walk out
bag?
with your
You just want
walk out with your brand new bag? I
Like,
love
oh
it.
yeah, let me carry this big Louis
I mean,
Vuitton
I'm sure
box.
their bags cost more than 25 cents just
Yeah.
on a shopping bag, but just the principle of having to pay 25 cents when you're already spending out for luxury goods is rough. Or even if you're just going to Nordstrom's and buying underwear. I mean, you're not, you know, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't
let me
have to be a
ask an
luxury good.
obvious question that I bet you a lot of people are thinking that don't live in California.
Okay.
Why do you stay in California? What
I
is
know.
it that keeps you there?
So the number one thing in California, I think that people talk about is weather, and weather and ocean and the lifestyle that you have because you're driving distance to so many, for lack of a better word, staycations. You know, from in the Bay Area, we can go to Tahoe, we can go to Napa, we can
Jealous.
go to Big Bear Lake. We can go to Yosemite. It's just like, and those are just to name a few. Like, there's so many places that you can go in driving distance and just have a change of scenery. The weather is spectacular. I think for me, what I love about being in the Bay Area is I love the pace. It's not for everybody, but I love the pace. I love raising my kids there because then they learn at the pace. They're accustomed to the pace. So if they move anywhere in the country after that, except for New York maybe lines up with us, they're ready for whatever life has to bring. There is a drive to learn and to advance in the Bay Area. You know, people are always moving forward. Technology, like we were the birth of Waymo, right? Driverless vehicles. Yeah. Tesla's running their driverless vehicles. We're always about innovation, and I love living in that environment where everyone around you is someone you can learn from. So there's a lot of reasons, but we are also the heart of Silicon Valley. $500 billion is getting invested into AI just in the Bay Area.
Wow.
You know, we are a hub for the financial world on the West Coast. So, I mean, there's so many reasons, but I think that's what it is, and the cost of living is higher. But the quality of life in terms of education and weather and, you know, the ability to appreciate in real estate faster than most states is there, right? Like you could invest in Ohio and you could get a cheaper property and you could cash flow right away. But in California, you will appreciate at a significant rate. And in Ohio, for example, you're not going to appreciate at that significant rate. Like California's average pre-COVID was above 8%. We're not going to talk about what happened during COVID because, you know, that double-digit fever, it's not forever. But yeah, the appreciation is really high. And I'm coming from Texas. So I was born in Texas where there really was no appreciation until, you know, our kind of global boom. And so appreciation wasn't even considered as like part of your real estate purchase when I was growing up in Texas when I was small. So
Those are all good reasons.
yeah.
I feel like Vegas has a lot of that though too. I feel like we can go skiing in 45 minutes. We can hit the beach in about 4.5 hours, which isn't too far. You know, we have a lot of those same amenities. I love going up to Bryan Head during the summertime when a lot of people don't go up there because we have the lakes and we can go fishing and ATVing. So I don't know. I feel like we're pretty blessed here as well. And the appreciation factor here. I mean, our city is appreciating at high numbers as well.
Yeah,
But
we
this
definitely
is why
have-
a partnership is so important, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like you're always going to have people who want to move back and forth to our collective cities, and here we are. We can
It's
help
so
each other.
true. I mean, there's a lot of Californians that bought second homes many, many years ago, right? During the like after 2008, when we finally parabola it up. And right now, there are certain types of buyers that I'm seeing that are trending towards Las Vegas. Because of the
California.
easier cost of living.
It is, yeah.
So there are, and that's why we're here. And there are people, you know, who are moving back from Vegas that went to Vegas during this, you know, work at home stay, and now can't get away with it because California, like in the Bay Area, most companies are having them come back to work. So I do see a lot of people coming back from many different places, and that could be, you know, one of them. And also if you're in AI and 500 billion is getting invested in the Bay Area, you're going to go back to the Bay Area.
Right.
So I think there's a place for everybody and there's a place and a time. And sometimes that time point is the key generational trend that I think is really important right now because baby boomers, those are our ultimate homeowners. They're the biggest, largest share of homeowners. They are aging. And they have different aging factors than their predecessing generations. And they really love the kind of less expensive but also more fun life that Vegas can offer. And a lot of these baby boomers also have kids that are dependent upon them, whereas, you know, the affordability factor when they were buying properties was a 2-to-1 ratio. You had to have double the income of what you were buying. if you look at the stats today, the affordability factor, at least in California, is about 12 to 1. Okay, so
It's a big number.
that's a big number.
Huge.
So, I'm a mom, and I also have nieces who are in their 30s, and just being able to try to buy right now, like that affordability factor is a real issue. So when you look at that, you're like, okay, so there may be issues with affordability. So what would baby boomers do? They're not necessarily going to retirement homes. They're not necessarily wanting to, be in senior care. They kind of want to age in place, or upgrade into something where they're living with their kids. And they want to live with their kids because they want to be younger, and their kids want to live with them because, well, frankly, they can't afford without them. Right? And then hopefully there's some good family values, and you want to take care of your parents. So that trend is more affordable, for example, in Vegas than in California.
Yeah. We have a lot of multi-generation homes going up right now.
Yeah.
It is popular here for sure.
And it takes about 12 to 24 months, depending on how big we're talking, when you're moving from a big city like that. Are there homes in California that are built for multi-gen, or do they kind of just make it work?
So California during COVID passed two very key laws that affects the question that you're asking. The first thing is that they passed a law stating that there is no single family home zoning anymore. It's 1 to 4 units, which means that unless you're fighting the local ordinance, you could technically turn your single family home into more than 1 unit. The other law is also called the ADU law, which you guys have heard of, which is an additional dwelling unit that's allowed for every single property in California. Now, if you don't have room, like on your land, like in San Francisco, right? San Francisco is a tiny 7x7 city, and it's really vertical built. So if you don't have the land, which most people don't, then they can build out the downstairs that technically was illegal to build out below, but people did it anyways. And so, are there homes already built for it? Very few. Are there homes that have made adjustments in order to accommodate? Many. But there are very few compared to the demand. And frankly, our listing availability right now in, let's say, Silicon Valley, which consists of 2 counties, San Mateo County and Santa Clara County, is about less than a month and a half of inventory.
Oh, wow.
Okay, San Francisco is 2.3 months of inventory. So when you're talking availability of a specific niche type of property, it's even less than that. So that's just to put it into perspective.
Yeah. And that means that the good homes go fast.
Yeah.
Fast. So Santa Clara is, Silicon Valley moves within 8 to 10 days on the market.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And San Francisco, the average right now is 45 days on the market, which is longer. Some are moving within a couple weeks, but some are straggling, and that's a whole other conversation as to why there's such a big gap there. But in general, if the homes are move-in ready, they're moving very fast. And the peninsula even faster no matter what, because there just isn't enough listings.
Inventory.
Yeah.
So I
that's
do
crazy.
mortgages in New York, and just in the last month, we are starting to see multiple offers and people putting escalation clauses and over. So is that happening in that area as well?
So let me give you some real stats. So Silicon Valley is averaging between 106 and 107% over asking, and San Francisco is hovering at 105% over asking. The highest that I've seen in the last 90 days is 124%. But I would say on average, yeah, we're seeing that. We're not seeing so many escalation clauses. We are seeing what's new in our world is the insurance contingency.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that. What do you mean?
Well, so insurance has gotten so difficult to get, and obviously with the LA fires, it's even worsened. Mm-hmm. So now there is kind of a newer contingency that came into play last year, but it was like sprinkled because, competition was still high. But now I see in almost every contract, even in multiple offers, that there is an insurance contingency, meaning that the buyers have an opportunity to get the cost of insurance and secure insurance prior to removing the contingency so that if they cannot get it insured or it's not affordable for them, then they move out of the contract. Now, I've never seen anyone move out of the contract for that purpose, but I've seen almost every contract with that contingency.
Wow.
I mean, that's a big deciding factor, right? I mean, I don't know what your average cost is for insurance for a home here, probably like $180.
A month?
Yeah, a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, like $180 a month. But in California, when you have more factors in play, that could be $600 a month, right?
It's a lot.
Like $1,200.
$180 a month is I don't even think we have that for car insurance. I'm not sure. I'm like, where are these prices? Stop it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, even just the big boom right now is solar, and we had a little bit of conversation about how Nevada, in Southern Nevada especially, we're very water conservative, energy efficient, kind of because we have to, but the cost of that in a single family home can astronomically make a big difference.
Yeah.
I think for Las Vegas, Maria, can you pull up the stats that I sent you?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about at a week how much it's changed. They said online, I think Realtor.com said that April 13th to April 19th is the best time to sell your home. It's been like all over the news.
Yes.
Really? I don't know if I agree with that.
And I think it's more that spring break's over for most areas. You're getting into warmer weathers. You're finally ready to start packing that 15-year house you've been living in and, going through the boxes and stuff and throwing things out. But I think it's really important to talk about like what's happening on a week-to-week basis, right? You mentioned your market is sold in 8 to 10 days. In 8 to 10 days, a homeowner that's been living there for 30 years is going to need more than 8 to 10 days
Well, 8 to 10
to
days
move.
Yes. So 8 to 10 days is when they accept a ratified contract. Then it's the usual 30-day, the average is maybe 25 to 30 days to close. And then California, we are very careful in the seller to occupy after close of escrow because California essentially a couple years ago became kind of a rent control state. So whereas before it was easier for me to write contracts of up to like 60 days after close of escrow, now people are not feeling comfortable after 30 days.
You're talking
they don't
about
wanna
letting
create-
the seller stay in there?
because they don't want to create like a landlord-tenant situation because of the new California state laws. We've all, like San Francisco in general, has always been a rent control city and heavily favored in tenant favor. But, the outlying areas like Silicon Valley, which includes like San Mateo County, Santa Clara County. On the other side, it's Marin County. On the other side, Alameda County. But now the state passed like a statewide law. So there is some discomfort when buyers are buying property now to allow sellers to stay after close of escrow. So we try to plan it out. And, I think, Rosie, you and I are working on a deal right now where we're trying to plan things out too in terms of timing and moving, older people or people who are just not ready to move within that,
They need
38-day
time.
period.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. It makes me, I've been doing this a long time too. It makes me uncomfortable whenever that happens. I don't like having people in the house at close of escrow. There's just unless it's like an extenuating circumstance that it has to happen, you get out and we'll get in. I don't like that.
We exchange money, we exchange keys.
Yes.
We're done. I know.
We're done, yeah.
Well, because then you own it and someone's living there and you're like, oh, this is kind of weird.
But the one good grace is that it's not a stranger. It's somebody that cared and loved the house for a long time.
That's true.
Most of the time, okay?
True.
Most of the time they're voluntarily selling. If they're not voluntarily selling, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But if they're voluntarily selling, they generally love the house. And so there's a little bit less risk in that regard.
Yeah.
But I totally know what you're talking about. And
I think you need like 1 or 2 nightmare situations to make you be like, yeah, we're not doing that unless we absolutely have to.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some of our stats here in Vegas.
Okay.
So our new listings, we are at 991 for the week.
For the week.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Would you love to have that?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're hovering about, I haven't checked this month because we're spring market new month. We're hovering at about 3.5 months inventory.
Yeah.
But that also means you're selling a lot, because if that's only 3.5 months of inventory, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of inventory. We don't have those kind of numbers in terms of amount of sales either.
But here, this is interesting. 988 had a price decrease.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening in our market is that maybe they were getting the higher demand of buyers back when we were a month and a half inventory, almost 2 months, and we're coming into a stable market where people have options, right?
Yeah.
And then about 800 went under contract.
So they're
That
like
is a
exchanging.
lot.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of movement going on here.
that is a lot of movement. And that is single family or single family?
Single family.
That's single family. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It
But
is.
you know what's interesting, and I only discovered this morning when I was speaking with Rosie, is that, our San Francisco Bay Area is broken up into many different counties and associations. You guys have one. So I would have to accumulate our numbers from all the different surrounding counties and then total it. Because you guys are just operating under one county,
Yep,
one big area as well. So I wonder how the stats would line up if I did that.
Put all the counties together in your
Yeah.
area. Yeah. It might be, you might find the numbers to be similar.
A little less staggering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she was saying that it's 7.
Yeah.
Broken up into 7 different ones,
That's
probably
crazy.
comparable. I'm like, and you have to pay for an MLS each one.
You do?
Well, so now we have what is it called? Not compliance, but reciprocity.
Oh, okay.
So California has reciprocity all over, but in general, like if I wanted to sell, I had a listing in Nevada and Marin County for my lockbox, et cetera, to work there, I would have to become a member. However, if I'm just looking at inventory and I'm helping a buyer, I could look at the inventory and not pay Marin County dues.
Gotcha.
But in general, wherever I operate on the norm, which is, primarily between San Francisco and Silicon Valley, I do, and I am a member of the association. I'm active, and, I'm the Women's Council president, and I'm active at SFAR, and at SAMCAR, which is San Mateo Association. So I still believe in being active, as you guys are as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to sell in other neighboring areas, there is a chance that you would need to
Be a part of that.
Be a part of it. And
so what is the total population of all the counties that you work, would you say? Do you have any idea? Just trying to compare the population, because we're close to 3 million.
No, we are not close to 3 million.
No.
I don't think we're close to that at all. San Francisco is a 7x7 square, literally. And then we're a long stretch peninsula, kind of, and we have like all these little cities. Like the city that I live in, Hillsborough, we have 3,000.
Oh, it's a very little city.
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry, 10. I think we're at 10,000.
Even that though.
I was like,
But
still
yeah.
small.
Yeah.
But it's very, very small. Like we're not in the couple millions.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
I wanted to just touch on this a little bit because I know we're running a little bit over time today. And thank you for making it this far with us.
Yes.
Both of you ladies have been in the mortgage industry for a long time. What is the advice to buyers today in the spring market, sellers today in the spring market?
Rates are good. Stop stressing about rates. Rates are good. I feel like we're in the 6 to 6.5. We are good.
I'm going to say this. Buyers shouldn't and don't care about rates. They care about payment. What payment can you afford? Because if I could tell you that your payment would be $3,000 for $1 million or $3,000 for $800,000, you would still happily pay that $3,000 for $1 million, wouldn't you?
Yeah, as long as the payment's the same, right?
As long as the payment.
Yeah.
So go by payment. Rates are going to change. They are going to get better. They will never be at 3% again. So just forget about it. And it's not healthy for the economy. And, and then as your life changes, you'll make good leveraging decisions. What I will say is that loans or real estate that are owner occupied or you use it as an investment makes financial sense. It's good debt if managed properly.
I love that. I think too, expectations of the house that you're going to get has to be a little bit readjusted, and don't be sad about that, because you're still buying into an investment versus spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year on rent. You are investing in yourself. So even if your very first purchase has to be a condo or a townhouse, get in the game. That's the whole thing. Get in the game.
Absolutely.
Well,
Real
thank
estate
you,
is
ladies.
mother approved, time tested. You know, it's, you can see, feel, touch it. Nobody can control it but you. So
Amen. Yes.
Well, thank you, ladies, and Milana for flying out to join us.
thank you for
today.
having me. It
Thank
was
you.
great.
Don't forget to follow the Sneaker Homegirls on all social media platforms. Same with Milana Ostroy, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.
Peace. That's a wrap for this episode of the Sneaker Homegirls podcast.
We appreciate you for tapping in and rocking with us. Real estate, hustle, and sneakers. That's what we do.
If you got value from this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Also, follow us on Instagram at The Sneaker Homegirls for behind-the-scenes content, market updates, and of course, sneaker drops.
Let us know in the comments what topics you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep hustling, stay fresh, and we'll catch you on the next episode.